y'all. My name is Amelia Diaz. I'm a blind lesbian Latinx writer living in Austin. If you've come across my Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, GoFundMe lately, you have seen that I am raising money to attend Mary Adkins' The Book Incubator program. It's a dream of mine to really get my novel published. I wanted to make this video to sort of tell you a little bit about myself and the why behind all of this. So I have to start here with Braille. Braille has always been my doorway to everything. Reading, writing, dreaming, connecting with the world. It's like my fingers learned to Braille before I really understood what stories could do. And through Braille, I really found both freedom and belonging. My earliest writing was poetry and short nonfiction. So a lot of emotions and anecdotes just kind of spilling out through rhyme and reflection and experimentation. But fiction really quickly became my true home. As an introvert, I found and still find companionship in the characters I meet in novels. As a child, I really enjoyed Narnia, the Harry Potter series, and the sassy, witty Ella from Ella Enchanted, some of my earliest favorites. But something was always missing. None of these adventures ever featured a blind protagonist. Blindness has always been a part of my identity, something to celebrate, not heal. Thanks to my mom and a lot of supportive staff at the Braille Institute's after-school programs, I grew up really proud of blindness. But still, I never saw anyone remotely like me in the stories that I really loved. Outside of like Helen Keller or Louis Braille, blind people weren't really imagined as full, vibrant, realistic characters. As I grew older, I really decided to change that. Like, it's something that I became passionate about changing. I wanted to create stories where blind children could finally find themselves, especially in the genre that shaped me most, which was young adult fiction. It's something I love to this day. Too often, blind characters in media are reduced to really troubling tropes, or pity or magical cures. Like, we don't have super hearing, we don't touch faces, none of that. I wanted to really write stories that told the truth of living as both blind and whole. I think that's important. Not all blind people want fixing. When I came out as a lesbian in 2019, queerness also became an integral part of my identity and of my storytelling. My wife and chosen sisters really surround me with a lot of that queer blind joy. And being gay has really taught me that our identities are often so pigeonholed in literature. Novels feature queer protagonists, but really rarely queer and disabled ones. But there's so much deep solidarity to be found in melding communities, because if you think about it, no one's ever really only one thing. Authors like Sonora Reyes, Adam Silvera, Becky Albertalli, Audrey Colthurst, they've all really shown me what queer YA can be, and I really want to add to the conversation and talk more about that intersectionality of disability and queerness. So while earning my BA and MA in English from Cal State Fullerton, and for a short time after, I interned as a community college instructor and tutored at my school's writing center. Teaching was super rewarding. I really love and always will love working with students, but the inaccessible grading platforms and how hard it was to sometimes post comments meant that it took me double the time to comment on students' work that it did my sighted colleagues, and so I had no time for my own creative projects. So when my wife and I moved to Austin in 2021, I was really finally able to write full time. Since then, I've attended the Lambda Literary Writers Retreat for Emerging LGBTQ Voices in 2023, and I even had one of my fantasy short stories published in their Lambda Emerge anthology for that year. So that was exciting. It was like my first real publication of any kind. And since then, I've mostly shared poems, essays, short stories, guided meditations, whatever strikes my fancy on my little Substack page, The Braille Cave, which I can also link below. But my current project, even as a Q, is really the book of my heart. It's a queer coming of age story that's basically 12 years in the making. With the support of the book incubator and all my amazing family, I really hope to bring it to publication and create a space where queer disabled youth can finally see themselves reflected on the page, especially, like I said, blind disabled youth. So if you would do me the favor of sharing this or donating or in any way, shape, or form supporting this campaign, I would be eternally grateful. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video.